It's now time for your favorite in-depth basketball show with the myths, the legends, Nard Dogg and Raindrops. Goulet!
WrestleMania has come and gone, and it is the start of a new season in the world of the WWE. Welcome to Full Court Press, a special episode of Full Court Press. I'm Justin Raindrops Goulet, joined by the Nard Dogg, David Bernardi. How are you, good sir?
Oh yeah, it's going great, Goulet. How are you?
I'm fantastic, even better now that you just busted out the Macho Man impersonation. Now, we want to do something a little different here on Full Court Press. We've talked wrestling in the past, but we wanted to do a full WrestleMania special. The showcase of the Immortals, the biggest show of the year in the world of wrestling and in the WWE, just took place, and a lot went down. Nard Dogg, I want to discuss with you and get your thoughts on the different matches. What do you think overall of WrestleMania? I actually didn't watch the full event, and that's the first time in a year or two that I haven't watched the full event, but I watched highlights from WrestleMania 32, and I have kept up to date somewhat of what is going on in the world of WWE.
Well, I saw from it was incredible. Not incredible that it was great, just incredible that it was from. I watched from 7 p.m. till I think did it end at midnight? I think it was. Yeah, it went over.
That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me like a show like WrestleMania goes over time, because there have been so many times where I've watched Monday Night Raw and they're going 15 minutes overtime. So for something like WrestleMania, that's not a big shocker.
Yeah, they usually do Monday Night Raw is 15 minutes after. But yeah, WrestleMania, I'd say WrestleMania 32, I'd say it was way better than last year's. Last year's was so bad that I don't even remember it.
You don't remember last year's? Well, last year's was the WrestleMania that was when Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I thought was a fantastic moment.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. What else? The Sting Triple H, but
that match.
That's a result.
Honestly, the Sting Triple H match was a letdown because they just buried Sting. They brought this wrestling legend to the WWE, and they made such a big deal of him coming to the WWE finally, and they built it up, and then he went and lost to Triple H. Last year, that was a fiasco.
But yeah, the WWE, that's what they specialize in, burying talent.
You know what? I am not going to disagree with you on that. We did nothing against Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But the WWE, it looks like they've buried AJ Styles, and they made a huge deal. It's big that he's in the WWE now. It's not a small thing in the world of wrestling, because he went so many years.
I don't know, Justin. Did you not watch Raw?
I didn't watch Raw, so I'm coming at it. No, I did not. So fill me in, enlighten me.
You want to know Raw? What happened?
Yeah, I want to know what happened. The Raw after Mania.
It was pretty stupid how the WWE they had Jericho beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and then the next night at Raw after Mania, AJ Styles beats Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and who the other guy? Who cares about the other guy? Oh, Cesaro. How can I forget Cesaro? Yeah, they had a 4-way match for the number one contender to face Roman Reigns at Payback, and AJ Styles won.
Oh, but it's weird though. It's just weird booking. If you're gonna have him lose to Chris Jericho, sure, that ends that feud, which started off as a friendly competition, then became a partnership, and then they broke up after like a week, and then they were enemies, and then they fought at WrestleMania. AJ Styles loses, and now he's the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which is awesome, and I was not aware of this, so that's great news. Hopefully he gets the belt. That would be huge, but who knows?
No, I don't know about that. Vince loves his Roman.
He sure does. He's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns does have the look, and he is a cousin to The Rock, which would certainly help, one would think. Well, I want to take a few steps back and just look over some of the matches at WrestleMania. Just starting from the top. As I said, I didn't see WrestleMania. I just checked out some of the highlights. But I want to get your take on some of these matches. We won't focus necessarily on all the matches. But Kalisto going up against Ryback. I like that Kalisto's
that was on the pre-show. I didn't actually see that, but
okay.
That was fun results. I don't like Ryback. We both know that. He is just a disaster. His mic skills are disgustingly bad.
and it seems like he works pretty stiff, too. Sure, maybe he's improving and learning more, but just watching Ryback wrestle, it looks like he could genuinely hurt somebody. I like Kalisto.
It's kind of funny. Pardon?
I like Kalisto as the United States champion. I don't know much about Kalisto, and him winning the title, since I haven't kept up that much, Kalisto, that kind of took me by surprise. But I think it's cool to see him as the U.S. champ.
It's just funny how they are building up Ryback for the past month or so to be this big tough guy. What's his slogan? Like his saying?
Feed me more.
The big guy.
Oh, he's the big guy.
Feed me more. The big guy.
You know, big guy, big traps, or whatever it is.
They just buried him by having Kalisto beat him at WrestleMania. That's beautiful.
Wonderful.
At least they did something, right?
Yeah, exactly. Did something. Now, there is I guess if that match was on the pre-show, the match starting the show off was Team Total Divas versus Team Bad and Blonde, the 10 Diva tag team match. Did you catch that one? Any thoughts on that?
No, but I did catch the Raw before Mania where they had Eva Marie. She's pretty good looking. You can't deny that. But she sucks.
As far as wrestling goes, yeah, she hasn't really made many strides as far as improving her when it comes to her in-ring ability, which is unfortunate. But that is the situation, and it almost seems like I don't know. It seems like they've taken that show Total Divas too far, and I don't know. I watched the first season of the show just out of curiosity to see what it was all about and kind of get a behind-the-scenes look at the business, but I haven't watched it since the first season, so I don't really know what's going on in the world of Total Divas.
Apparently the Total Divas team won that match.
Yeah, they did. So that's Brie Bella, Paige, Natalya, Alicia Fox, and Eva Marie. Now, Brie Bella, Paige, Natalya, all the good wrestlers. Because there's a lot of... The thing that's kind of frustrating with the WWE is that when it comes to the divas, they put a lot of focus on the show Total Divas, and well, more so like they're putting more focus on the wrestling, which is nice because there's a lot of very impressive female athletes in the WWE that they could really kick some ass and put on a really good match, like Paige and Natalya, Brie Bella.
Yeah, that was actually Brie Bella's last match in the WWE.
Really? Wow, I've totally been out of touch. You need to just fill me in.
Yeah, she retired. I guess her and that D. Bry are gonna start a family and all that good stuff.
Daniel Bryan. Wow. Well, you know what? Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. A good run. A solid career, but
I can't say that I enjoyed it.
Well, moving on to another tag team match. The Usos defeated the Dudley Boys. Now, I am very happy that the Dudley Boys are back in the WWE, returned a few months ago.
For a second, I was like, is he going to say, I'm very happy that they lost?
No, I would have much preferred the Dudley Boys winning. I'm not a huge fan of the Usos.
I just don't like them. They're boring.
The Usos are bland, and
Very
they're good wrestlers. They're good high flyers, but the Dudley Boys have way more character and more charisma. I think the Dudley Boys should have won that match. But the thing is, that's kind of a case of veterans, the Dudley Boys, putting over the younger competitors. Although the Usos have been in the WWE for quite a few years now, so they're considered veterans as well in the locker room, you'd think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, the fourth match on the card, including the pre-show match Kalisto versus Ryback. Zack Ryder, the new WWE Intercontinental Champion.
I love that match. It was surprisingly good. I thought it was gonna be a disaster.
Well, with those, there's a lot of talent in that match. There's a ladder match. You got guys like Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Sin Cara, Stardust, The Miz, Kevin Owens, and Zack Ryder. These are all people that are capable of these high flying moves and could put on a really good ladder match.
During the match, Cody Rhodes, also known as Stardust, he went underneath the ring and he got a ladder that was all like it was polka dots, yellow polka dots and black. It was to honor his father, Dusty Rhodes,
Who passed away last year, of course. That's very nice to see.
Yeah, and also Stardust, his attire was black with polka dot.
Black with just a nice tribute to Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, it's pretty. But Kevin Owens, being the asshole he is, he's in the ring. He picks up that ladder, and he just throws it out like the dick he is. And
the thing is, he plays that character so well because I've heard that Kevin Owens is an absolute sweetheart. So he's really good at playing that character, embracing that role, that like gritty, just like brutish, tough guy that just doesn't care about anyone but himself.
Do you ever see his Twitter?
I have checked out his Twitter account. It's delightful.
Such beauty. He's just ripping on all these fans that chirp him.
Yeah, he's been wrestling for a very long time. He's a strong competitor.
He's the best heel in the WWE for sure.
Yeah, so it was nice that they put the title on him. I'm hoping that he's still got a good run left in him and they don't fully bury him or anything like that. Because you're looking at this wave of these superstars coming in like AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. These are all guys that were like they're legends from the independent circuit. Now, of course, AJ Styles is part of TNA for many years, but they're true like those independent wrestling fans, those hardcore wrestling fans. These are guys that the WWE they don't need to build up. They don't need to give them a new gimmick because they already have that strong fan base, that strong following. Yeah.
Now, back to Zack Ryder winning it.
I'm very happy for him. And you look at Zack Ryder, he's been considered kind of a jokey character in the past, just because that is his gimmick. He's like,
woo.
You know it. He's Long Island bro, whatever he's called, but he's had a pretty solid career in the WWE. He's an Intercontinental Champion. He's a former U.S. champion. He's a former tag team champion with Kurt Hawkins. He's a 3-time Slammy Award winner. He's had a pretty good career.
Yeah.
When you think about it. Joking aside, Zack Ryder has had a good career. So I was very happy to see him win the Intercontinental Championship in that ladder match.
Yeah.
Now
it was a good moment at the end because his father came into the ring. Then he hugged it out.
Yeah, it's wonderful. He got his WrestleMania moment. I was looking at his Instagram feed, so happy, and it's so great to see that he got his WrestleMania moment. Really good for him.
And after the match, he's saying, "Oh, if I lose the belt tomorrow, or whatever, I won't care because that was my WrestleMania moment, and I'll never forget it."
He got his moment. Now we had mentioned this name earlier, AJ Styles. He lost to Chris Jericho. Now, I like Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And he's Canadian, which adds to his awesomeness, but he's also one of the best wrestlers of all time. Future Hall of Famer, no doubt. AJ Styles, future Hall of Famer, no doubt. But, we kind of touched on it earlier. Do you think it was the right decision to have Chris Jericho beat AJ Styles?
I don't get that. Do you think possibly it has something to do with Jericho losing to Fandango a few years back, just like a makeup for that loss?
It could be, but I don't know how or why that would come into effect, why that would come into play in this situation, because that was a few years ago. That was WrestleMania in 2013, so that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, but say this was probably Jericho's. Maybe he retires the next year or so. Maybe he just wanted to go out not as a loser to Fandango.
go out on a winning note against AJ Styles, and AJ said, "You know what? Okay, cool. You can have the win." It's possible. It's not totally out of the question.
That was a good feud, Styles and Jericho. Great wrestlers.
Oh, fantastic. It was nice to see them form a tag team.
For
But
for one Raw, I think it was.
yeah, which is like, well, it's kind of junky. But as you said, AJ Styles, you're saying now number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, it's great. Good stuff. Now, just jumping ahead and touching on the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Roman Reigns finally getting the gold. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that. I knew it was going to happen. I knew they were going to give the title to Roman.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious that he was gonna win it. It's been planned that he'd win it for months. And yeah, as expected, all 101,000 people booed him after he won.
Yeah, not a big surprise, and I don't think the WWE should be surprised because, really, Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns.
I
But
don't hate Roman Reigns. I
that's
don't.
that's the thing. I don't dislike Roman Reigns. I like him, but the majority of fans boo him. So just have the guy turn heel.
Yeah, and another reason is he's just, I don't know, maybe he's just not ready to be in the spotlight. You know?
Could be. And the thing is, he's got the potential. He's got the family lineage as well. The Rock is his cousin. He's part of that wrestling family.
Yeah, and yes, he should turn heel, but how do they do that? How do they?
You could say he aligns with the authority, but at the same time, it's like, what? Why is he doing this? It's tough to find that motivation for him to turn heel in that right moment, that right story.
And now he's going to be facing off against AJ Styles, who's the most over wrestler in the WWE right now. The fans love the guy. What's the WWE thinking right now? I don't know what's happening.
I hope they put the title on AJ Styles.
Of course, we all do, but that's not in the plans. I think AJ Styles is just being fed to Roman Reigns as his first victim.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really too bad. Yeah, so we all knew that Roman Reigns would win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think a lot of people were happy about it. I don't think a lot of people were happy with Triple H as the champion because the authority needs to stop. That storyline has been going on for a very long time, and I think it's almost drawn out. Just have the authority break up and start something fresh, something new.
The thing is, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H have too big of an ego not to be on television.
It's I do not doubt that, and they have the power too. Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon's daughter, and Triple H is Vince's son-in-law, and they're in that power position, so they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And it's kudos to Triple H for bringing up these younger competitors and being such a strong supporter of the NXT brand, but at the same time, know when it's time to step back and just be a businessman. Know when it's time to step off the TV screen, to step away from the TV spotlight. Triple H, sure, he's in great shape still, and he could still get the job done in the ring, and he could still talk on the mic, but you got to limit your screen time, man. You got to realize that it's time to hang things up and cut down your minutes a little bit.
It's not all about you, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
No, it is no longer all about you. Now, flipping back...
It's no longer your game.
Yeah. Game over, Hunter. Now, going back to the match that followed Jericho versus Styles, it was the League of Nations. They defeated the New Day. Now, the League of Nations, it's the group comprising of Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, and Rusev, and they've got King Barrett as well. But competing in that match was Del Rio, Rusev, and Sheamus. Going up against the New Day, of course, Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods. New Day, super entertaining, and they've done a fantastic job embracing that role ever since they were given it. I think they're hilarious in it, and they're the tag team champions, and they're the team to be the tag team champions right now. It would be cool to see the Dudley Boys be the tag team champions, but that won't. I don't think that's in the cards.
Yeah. I don't know, I was so iffy about the New Day, but I think they've won me over.
Yeah.
They're solid all around.
Yeah, they've all got charisma. Big E has stepped up his mic skills and his charismatic personality. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston were always good as far as charisma was concerned, and Big E, he's not the main focal point when it comes to being like charismatic and kind of big and cartoony. That's more for Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston because they're a little bit better on the mic. But you can see the improvement in Big E, which is nice.
He's an awkward fella. But yeah, good on them. New Day, they're like AJ Styles. They're pretty over the WWE fans.
Oh yeah, they cheer when they come through that curtain.
Yeah, and about that match, they lose to the League of Nations.
Yeah, I don't mind Alberto Del Rio. It's cool to see him return to the WWE. I've never been a fan of Sheamus. Like maybe for like a brief period of time, but like very brief. Rusev. I enjoyed Rusev's entrance at WrestleMania last year when he came in on a tank because that was incredible.
They've completely buried him.
They did. They really did.
Remember when he was so dominant, winning all these matches?
He was the Bulgarian brute.
And now he's just, what even is he? I don't even know.
We have no idea. He's part of a faction of international wrestlers.
Lana's not even around him.
Nope, not anymore. She's doing her own thing. Well, good for her. But because Rusev, it was not. Well, his character wasn't meant to be a good speaker on the mic, and that's why he had Lana as his manager because she had really good mic skills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of women, we've got ourselves a new women's championship.
New women's championship presented at WrestleMania. The return of the WWE Women's Championship.
No longer the Divas, which is pretty stupid in my opinion.
I am happy that they've changed it to the WWE Women's Championship because, as I was saying earlier, although they do have the show Total Divas and they focus on that, it seems like they are trying to put more of a focus on getting that generation of strong female competitors, like the days of Trish Stratus and Lita, who could put on fantastic matches because they're very talented athletes and they could do some really cool things in the ring. So it's great to see competitors like Charlotte, who is the WWE Women's Champion, the daughter of Ric Flair, of course, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks, all very talented competitors.
Now, do I agree with the results?
You wanted Sasha Banks to win because you've got a little crush on Sasha Banks.
Well, she's kind of my favorite wrestler, I'd say.
She's very talented.
So talented.
Good on the mic. Good in-ring skills.
The past few months that they've just building her to win at WrestleMania. She had not been pinned once since jumping over to Raw. I don't know.
I like her character too. She's the boss. Like she's just so cool.
Legit boss.
She's the boss. But great to see the return of the WWE Women's Championship and no longer the Divas Championship. Put that focus back on women's wrestling and how strong it can be. Now, before we talk about, I know the match that came after the Women's Championship match was the Hell in a Cell match, but I want to actually save that for last. So I want to talk about, we don't really need to touch too much on it because I don't really care about this match, but the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. Andre the Giant, one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, the first ever WWE Hall of Famer. The reason they created the WWE Hall of Fame was to induct Andre the Giant into it. Baron Corbin won the 20-man Battle Royale. He last eliminated Kane. Honestly, I do not care about this. I don't care that this match happened. I remember I saw an Instagram post and it was like, I was looking at a recap for Monday Night Raw and it said something along the lines of Big Show declares his intention to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. And I was like, of course he does. Like, what else is he going to do at WrestleMania? I don't care about this.
But it did have the appearance of Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, see, again, because I didn't see it, you're adding these little tidbits. I'm just going off. I'm looking at the results and the highlights that I saw, and apparently I didn't see that Shaq was a part of it. I know that Shaq's a big wrestling fan, so never mind. Okay, like you've got me hooked. You've got me hooked, Nard Dogg.
Yeah, he comes into the ring and him and Big Show are just having a stare down, and then they both grab each other's throats. And then it didn't. And then what was it? And then Kane got involved. And then what happened was Shaq and Big Show both grabbed onto Kane and chokeslammed him.
Oh, lovely.
Pretty hilarious. But then after that, all the WWE superstars ganged up on Big Show and Shaq and took him out.
Well, cool to have that celebrity appearance and Shaq being a part of that. Now, another big appearance, of course, was the People's Champion, the Brahma Bull, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, making, from what I read and heard about, a seemingly pointless appearance at WrestleMania to just further bury the Wyatt family. He defeated Eric Rowan in 6 seconds. So The Rock now has the shortest match in WrestleMania history, and it just buried the Wyatt family.
That was just inexcusable. I don't know what the heck that was. Was that just a filler or something? What the heck was that?
I feel like it was just a filler, and the fact that The Rock was part of WrestleMania. Nothing against Dwayne Johnson, because I'm a huge fan of The Rock. I think he's awesome.
He's great.
But I don't think it was necessary for The Rock to be part of WrestleMania. I think they add these names to WrestleMania to have a bigger number in when it comes to attendance and pay-per-view buys. But WrestleMania is going to sell out every year regardless of who you have on the card because it's WrestleMania. There's a reason why this past WrestleMania was 32. It was the 32nd WrestleMania because it's one of the most popular sporting events in the world.
And then you saw The Rock on the mic. It actually sounded like he forgot his lines, or he couldn't think of it because he was just in his head. It took him like 5 seconds to think of something to say.
Oh, really?
And that's not Rock like, you know.
No, not so much. And then
He's usually like off the bat, he'll know what the heck to say.
He'll hook you in right away, and he doesn't miss a beat. The Rock is one of the best talkers in WWE history. Well, The Rock's appearance led to the reappearance and the return of Mr. John Cena.
That was another. I don't know. It was just.
That was another thing. Like I feel like they could have just done that on Raw the night after, or just not done it at all.
Why not just have that segment on the Raw after, now that I'm thinking of it?
Exactly. Have John Cena return on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Cool, he returned at WrestleMania, but it was just...
And they buried the Wyatt family.
Just a very confusing segment. Just a very confusing thing. One of the many confusing things that the WWE has done. Like the Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Shane McMahon. Now, not just... Okay, we won't focus on the match itself right now because Shane McMahon diving off the top of that cell was absolutely bonkers, and it just shows how freaking, wild Shane McMahon still is at his age. And it's funny because when this match was announced, I thought to myself, well, I just hope that Shane McMahon can still do the things that he did when he feuded with Kane back in 2002, 2003, around that time, diving off the Titantron, just diving off everything and breaking all these tables. And I was like, well, Shane's a little bit older. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that anymore. And he dove off the top of the Hell in a Cell. Wild.
Before he did that, I was actually afraid for his life. I was like, oh my God. Is he going to get paralyzed? I don't know.
I really hope not, because Shane has been in some really sticky situations. I don't know if you remember, this was over 10 years ago when Kurt Angle suplexed Shane into... you remember that, yeah. I don't think anybody who's seen that moment will never forget it. And it was one of the moments that was part of the Don't Try This at Home video that the WWE used to have on their DVDs, the old one. They still have that. But yeah, so that match, the circumstances were that if The Undertaker lost, he would never be allowed to compete at WrestleMania ever again. And if Shane McMahon won, Shane would gain control of Monday Night Raw. But of course, we all knew that they weren't going to have The Undertaker have 2 losses at WrestleMania because
and won against Shane. It just didn't seem right.
It didn't seem right. So we all knew that The Undertaker was winning, especially because it was a Hell in a Cell match. And as you said, the Monday after Raw, Vince gave control of Raw to Shane?
Yeah, he was basically saying, "Oh, you can control Raw, and let's see how bad you do." Blah blah blah, and then he left in a limo.
Because that totally makes sense. It's like the WWE writers just are like, okay, let's have this match. This is going to be awesome. And then once the match is over, once like the plan goes through, they're like, okay, we don't know where to go from this. Okay, let's just go back to what we should have done originally. Because what's the point of giving Shane control of Monday Night Raw after he loses to The Undertaker? And in that case, he was not allowed to have control of Raw because he lost Undertaker. You're just flipping back and forth through all these different ideas. It's like WWE creative doesn't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing with they know what they're doing with some storylines, but some others it just seems like they're super confused.
Basically, give you and me a pen and paper, and we'll come up with a whole year of ideas for the WWE.
Exactly.
That actually makes sense.
Exactly. It would have been nice to see Undertaker versus Sting at WrestleMania, but of course, unfortunately, Sting is retiring from wrestling due to injuries, specifically an injury he suffered in a match against Seth Rollins. Unfortunate,
Damn
but
you.
I know. Well, one thing that
Seth Rollins got his karma with that
yeah.
torn ACL.
Well, when Seth Rollins does return, now, folks, we focused on WrestleMania. Looking forward, now it's a new season in the WWE because WrestleMania kind of marks the end or beginning, depending on how you look at it, of the WWE season because they go all year long. Seth Rollins, when he returns, he's coming after Roman Reigns. Now, that's one thing you should do. You could have Roman Reigns align with the Authority, and then because when Seth Rollins returns, Rollins is going to be a huge face. The crowd is going to pop big time for Seth Rollins.
Oh, they're gonna love him.
I'm going to pop for Rollins when he returns.
What is it? A 6 to 9 month recovery from torn ACL?
Something like that.
When's maybe he comes back Money in the Bank? When's that?
Wins the Money in the Bank match. He's like the mystery entrance. Wins the Money in the Bank match again, and then at like SummerSlam or like even at the end of Money in the Bank, cashes in, surprise, and is the champion again.
And then say him and Reigns continue the feud till SummerSlam or something like that.
And maybe try to implement Dean Ambrose in it so we finally get that Shield triple threat match we've always dreamed of.
I think there's kind of a possibility that if Rollins never got injured, then maybe they would have had a triple threat at WrestleMania this year.
Possible. And I would have...
I think eventually they will do that.
It's something that the fans have wanted for quite some time. So... Yeah, that would not surprise me. Yeah. And I am looking forward to seeing what Shane McMahon does with control of Raw, see how that storyline goes about. There are some interesting prospects to see what happens going forward in the WWE.
Well, we don't know for sure if he's going to control because it's up to Vince now.
Yeah.
We shall see.
We shall see. So, since you watched WrestleMania, what would you give it out of 5? Out of 5 stars?
5. 3.
3 out of 5? That's solid. That's solid. That's worth actually going back and watching it. Fine. Yeah. That's pretty good. And
that triple threat match with the women was probably the best match of the night.
Yeah, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks. Those are three of the best female wrestlers in the world. Add to the fact that Charlotte had Ric Flair by her side. Her dad, Ric Flair, who's one of the best wrestlers of all time. That adds a little something extra to it. So 3 out of 5 stars and better than last year's WrestleMania?
Sure.
Right on. Well, Nard Dogg, anything else that you want to throw out there about the world of wrestling? What's happening in the world of wrestling that you want to mention?
On Raw, it was the debut of Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy.
Ah, right on. Also the debut of Apollo Crews, who defeated Tyler Breeze in his main roster debut.
And I'm pretty sure that Enzo Amore and Cassidy are my new favorites.
They're fun to watch, that's for sure. I watch them in NXT, and they're always entertaining.
Best mic skills in the biz.
Hey, right on. Well, we'll see how they do. We'll see how these new players, how they can get things done in the WWE on the main roster, and we'll see what new stars come out of NXT. It's a new season in World Wrestling Entertainment. Lots can happen. You never know in the world of WWE. I just hope that the creative department...
We do know that creative sucks.
Yeah, well, I just hope that the creative department can get everything figured out and figure things out and kind of have some more concrete plans laid out and draw out some storylines that make some more sense. In conclusion, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right on, Nard Dogg. Well, as we wrap this WrestleMania special of Full Court Press Up, if people want to chat wrestling with you, where can they find you online?
Just head over to my Twitter at DavidBernardi7.
Excellent. And you could chat with me about wrestling and whatnot on Twitter at JustinGoulet21. Thank you so much for joining us on this WrestleMania special of Full Court Press. Nard Dogg, thank you for joining me and chatting a little wrestling.
Oh yeah. Alright, that sucked. I'll admit that.
Well, at least you're honest about it. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Full Court Press. We will catch you next time. Have yourselves a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, or night whenever you're listening to this. We'll catch you later.
You've just been hit with Full Court Press. Courtesy of the men, the myths, the legends, Nard Dogg and Raindrops. Goulet!